This is Sybert signing in to Red Alert 3 and into a game that Twitch chat and myself judged to be a rainy day game. So, welcome back to Carville. This time, it is for an FFA. So let's just... Where are you going? Let's just jump into the introductions as running for the corner for the top left-hand edge. This is Songer 200. Not Singer 200, not Song 2000, Songer 200. In the top right-hand corner as the Yellow Empire, this is Fana 23. Meanwhile, as the Green Soviets down the right side, and keep in mind, this is FFA, so the close spawns are not necessarily a good thing. This is GreenAlert. Playing green, playing Soviets. As the Blue Empire, this is RenMasamune. I was definitely saying that wrong. But as the Orange Soviets, this is pewpewlazer. Always glad to see that guy because his name is so fun. And our sixth player, the Purple Allies, this is GoDofWar, a.k.a. Ready Player One. Quick note. At least four of these people, I don't remember if it's all six, at least four of these people are playing random. I'm going to guess by the triple crane opener that this is a 40k starting game. Yes, this is a 40k game. So this is an FFA starting at 40,000 resources for every player. And Songer is off to a bad start. He's not out yet, but this is not a good opening. He is going to be able to get kills on two refineries right from the beginning. Gets one, gets the other. This is actually an amazing opener for Songer, but at the same time, Fan 23, oh, he's doing the Tengu trick. We're going to learn about a bug that you are not allowed to use in tournaments today in this FFA. Now, with this being a 40k FFA, with a bunch of the players being random, this is one situation that can, anything can happen. You can do so much more with 40k starting than you could in an FFA with 10k starting. Like this, super fast cryocopters with economy behind it. This cryocopter rush is not even very risky. A double Mecha Bay opener is not even very risky. It's just things that you can afford when you start with 40k. Your MCV move immediately heading to the corner and then almost losing your refinery spots to an Empire player, it's okay. You've got 40k in the bank right from the start. This is massive harassment by GoDofWar, which would be pretty devastating in a normal game with a different sort of a start. But it's honestly not that crazy. Engineer coming in for these Crusher Cranes. If he can get one Crusher Crane, he can build a barracks and he can keep it going, but he goes for the airfield. He steals the airfield and he builds a barracks and a reactor to try and preserve his build radius and get more engineers onto the field. Crusher Cranes coming up with walls and trying to block off this barracks to stop anything from happening. The mayhem is immediate. The cryocopter gets shot down. GoDofWar drawing allies randomly and is rewarded with his old faction. And pewpewlazer is just going crazy, taking over everything. Gets a super reactor as well, just as the Tesla coil finishes. GreenAlert is getting dumpstered and cut in half as pewpewlazer brings those magnetic mines to the front line to blast down this MCV. It looks like the Tesla coils will be able to save him. The bear roars at just the wrong time, a little too far away from that flak trooper. It is Mass Tengu coming out from the top right-hand corner. Fanta is here. Yeah, his name is Fana, but I feel like calling him Fanta because it's a soda and it's kind of funny. Although he's yellow and not orange, and in the US at least, Fanta is orange. In other countries, the actual color of Fanta is more yellow, but that's okay. Another engineer does manage to sneak on out, sells off a bunch of the buildings, going for another airfield. GreenAlert may be coming down to the bottom right-hand corner of the map to bring the fight to pewpewlazer, but it also kind of doesn't even matter. The sickle just levitating here. Natasha will eventually get the kill if the V4s do not. And I love the idea of walling off your opponent's V4s to try and stop them from being able to be effective. But I just don't know how much it really matters. Terror Drone's going to try and get the stop on this MCV. Does get the freeze for a moment, but the sickle gets the kill. And the MiG, no, the Badger Bomber isn't able to get the kill. Natasha is going to get jumped on. She gets the snipe on one sickle, but not on the other. And that's a single vet sickle going crazy. pewpewlazer is burning down the main base of GreenAlert. He says the name of the game is Red Alert 3, not GreenAlert. You have no power here. pewpewlazer and GreenAlert caught in just an epic struggle, life or death. A knife fight in a phone booth is what this feels like between these two Soviet players who are going absolutely insane versus each other. Flak troopers now coming in from GreenAlert as an APOC tank spawns in and goes immediately for the crush. He's going to get a little bit of health back, but no. Does he actually not have the grinder treads? I guess he does. He's getting the health back now as he crushes those sickles, crushes those flak troopers. And now the terror drone comes in. The bears are going to try and chase away those flak troopers. The flea jump from the sickle won't save these flaks, but the terror drone will. And this is so close to GreenAlert and pewpewlazer. Either one of them could eliminate the other, but pewpewlazer is spread further out. He's actually now encircling GreenAlert. Piece by piece, bit by bit, GreenAlert is fighting fiercely to keep what he can. A bridge gets rebuilt to the island, and actually, there's been a lot going on elsewhere on the map that I just have not been paying attention to. We have lost one of our players, but Ren has just left the game. One of our only Empire players. I guess it's two of each faction. So now we're down to just one Empire player left, and that is going to be Fanta. He's running around with those Tengus, just mass Tengu. As these bears are going to come in, he's going to try and get another kill, but the flak troopers jump inside of the bullfrog. What a great move there by GreenAlert. Calls in more terror drones to try and clean up these bears, and GreenAlert will not die. This guy has fought as hard as anyone for his place in this game, and at the same time, GoDofWar presses up to the north. Now, just from the get-go, GoDofWar is probably the best 1v1er by a good margin in this game. But, of course, this is an FFA. This is a weird map. That does not mean he is going to get a free win by any means. I mean, even in 2v2v2s, we see oftentimes the best players don't always get a win because they can get double-teamed, they can get stabbed in the back, there can be unfortunate instances of timing, and it's just hard to look everywhere that you have to look. But GoDofWar has a ton of stuff. He's got so much stuff, and he is slowly but surely spreading his way to the north, expanding up. He's soon going to be on 6 refineries. He's got a massive army, and he is ready to go toe-to-toe with just about anyone. I will say, Tengus are really good suicide units. As long as you've still got an army behind your suiciding Tengus, you can usually do pretty good damage. Engineer gets sniped despite that black hole armor being there, and this MCV is going for the crush. That might be a bit of a mistake. This MCV might get clobbered, but Songer is here with a little bit of an army, not nearly enough to contest the sheer overwhelming firepower of GoDofWar. He is just marching down through everything that this guy has. Vindicator bombs come in for a pass, but Songer has been defeated. He knows he does not have the strength to line up to GoDofWar. pewpewlazer in the bottom right-hand corner. Fanta in the top right-hand corner. And GoDofWar with the whole left side of the map under his control. Shogun battleships are here. GoDofWar did not account for someone building something out on the water. That seems to be his one weakness. Ah, the water. The one thing I didn't think of. Apollos are here. They're going to try and pick a fight with these Tengus, but honestly, that's way too many Tengus. He's going to need IFVs or something else to back that up. GreenAlert has been pushed into the corner. pewpewlazer is going to be losing this engineer before he jumps into this. Oopsie. Called the bears off. He must have had them selected with another unit group hotkey, and unfortunately for GreenAlert, he does not get the kill on that engineer. Wow. Not often do you see that happen, where a player gets a roar on a bear, a roar from a bear on an engineer, and then the engineer survives. There's nothing around. The bear wasn't killed by a bunch of conscripts or a terror drone or something. The bear just didn't kill the engineer. Finally, it looks like pewpewlazer is going to take down GreenAlert. It has been a long time coming for GreenAlert. He has held out much better than I would have, like, way better. GreenAlert actually started to make a little bit of a comeback despite the incredibly bad position he was in almost from minute one. And it does feel like we are entering two-horse race territory with GoDofWar and pewpewlazer taking opposite sides of the map. The one thing in their way is Fanta. Fanta 2-3, the Empire player who is carving up the middle of the map, trying to spread out and create some more space for himself. He loses his brawling army, although his King Onis pretty much all survive. He's got 7 King Onis on the map. Not often do you see 7 King Onis anywhere, let alone in a multiplayer game of Red Alert 3. I mean, that's cinematic stuff. That is not multiplayer game stuff. I cannot believe GreenAlert is fighting this one out like so hard. He is just in this to win it. He's got the flak cannon. He's blasting away at those units. As long as he can take the Zoil Derrick, he could come back in this game. He's got a crane. I mean, technically, he could come back in the game. Obviously, he has, like, no chance of coming back in this game. But pewpewlazer is totally distracted. Fanta finds a huge amount of damage in the middle of the map, but is going to be trading way too many strikers for it. That's a lot of strikers going down. These Shogun battleships, 2 of them are going to get caught by the freeze ray. 1 gets frozen, 2, and the 3rd manages to escape. Those Dolphins go heroic as they find the kills against 2 of the Shoguns and dodge every other shot from the remaining Empire Navy. Vindicators get a kill on another Shogun battleship. Finally, one of the Dolphins goes down. GreenAlert has been defeated, and then there were 3. Only 3 players left in this massive 6-player FFA that very quickly turned into a 3-player FFA. Which, I mean, for all we know, if you were just looking at this game, how it is split up now, this almost looks identical to some of the 2v2v2s that I've casted in the past, where 1 player from each team ends up getting eliminated, and then the map gets cut up into quite large chunks. This is great for GoDofWar. Wow, Fanta just completely turns around. Fanta, who was headlocked in a match with GoDofWar, has now sent his entire King Oni army down south and is just taken on pewpewlazer full frontal. He is going for the attack, and he is holding nothing back on the ground. I mean, he's not using his naval units. His Shogun battleships are still up north. He needs to bring those massive Tengu numbers. They're almost here. These twin blades are here, but the Tesla coils are low power mode, offline and locked up. This massive super reactor is right here. He needs to take that out before he does too much more. A MiG is here, but 1 MiG is not nearly enough to stop all of these Tengus. That many MiGs is enough to stop that many Tengus, especially when the Tengus just stand around and take it for a couple of moments. No terror drones to get the infect on these King Onis. The super reactor is about to go, and that low power mode is gonna last a little bit longer as these King Onis continue to blast through this Soviet base. pewpewlazer, he is getting pew-pewed by the lasers of Fanta. This Empire player is not going to be stopped by such little forces. I love the Tesla Troopers, the attempt at the lockdown. He gets 2! He gets 2 King Onis with the lockdown there. That is a great way to neutralize 3-4. He's walking them into the lockdown. Are you kidding me? 4 out of the 6 King Onis getting locked down by 1 Tesla Trooper. Another super reactor is getting brought online, but it won't last. The Crusher Crane won't survive. The King Onis close the distance. Another super reactor is attempting to come online. 2 more King Onis getting powered down, but that one is actually not powered down. No, he's right on the edge of range there as that Tesla Trooper goes down. Pew-pew-lazer can't handle the lasers, and this is amazing for God of War. What an amazing setup he gets. He goes north. He knocks Songer out of the game, like taking in 6 expansions out on his way north to knock Songer out. And then his next target, God of War's next big enemy, Fanta 23, just turns around and starts punching pewpewlazer in the face. And it's like, this could not go better for God of War. He knocks a guy out. He's playing aggressively. He's got a big army. And then when he has to fight his next big opponent just turns around and starts punching the other guy in the ring. What an amazing setup here for God of War. Fanta has been defeated. He calls it quits. I guess he could have tried to fight that one out. He definitely would have been from the back foot. And now that his entire King Oni army has been deleted, this feels like it should be a smash for God of War. But don't underestimate pewpewlazer. He is definitely going to be fighting from the back foot. Are these Apollos? What is wrong with these MiGs? Oh my gosh, heroic MiGs just going down. That Apollo taking out 3 MiGs that didn't fire a return shot. Aegis shield gets popped. And I mean, yeah, God of War has like a massive army, but if he loses everything to just a couple of twin blades, what good does that massive army do you? Where are his Apollos? What is... Does God of War have no other anti-aero? He brought an IFV along. Okay, I mean, IFV is pretty good. One IFV feels a little bit like underprepared, but it's getting the job done. All right, God of War is just crushing through pewpewlazer. I think pewpewlazer is going to be able to survive this first onslaught, but God of War is spreading out so far that, well, for now he's got 8 refineries. pewpewlazer also has close to 8. I think right now pewpewlazer actually has 10. So God of War, if he lets pewpewlazer have a moment to breathe, the war of attrition might actually start sliding back the other way. Mirage tank goes down. A couple of Tesla troopers get eliminated. God of War, it's starting to feel like he has a bunch of really powerful pieces. Athena cannons, Mirage tanks, aircraft carriers, but he doesn't have enough support for any of them. He's got 4 more aircraft carriers, but yeah, you need cryocopters, you need hydrofoils, you need dolphins, you need some other units here, and just a couple of aircraft carriers by themselves not going to be enough. pewpewlazer, I think, sitting at 10 refineries on the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 refineries on the map. So pewpewlazer actually has way more cash. This is not working. You're not doing it right. I don't know how you're supposed to do it, but that's not it. That Terror drone just escapes that dolphin for a good little while. You can splash damage kill the Terror drone out of a unit, but that is not the way to do it. I don't know what he was doing wrong, but he was doing something wrong. I think you have to force fire through the aircraft carrier and not force fire the aircraft carrier. But either way, that did not work. Engineer now going to be getting targeted down by these IFVs. God of War, his army almost falling apart, almost being taken down by pewpewlazer, but he is just keeping the front line moving. Takes down the Tesla coil. Maybe he can take down a war factory or refinery as well. No, he's going to go for the harvester instead. And God of War is just trying to stay one step ahead of pewpewlazer every step of the way, because as long as he keeps pewpewlazer down, he can keep up the chaos, keep up the aircraft carriers bombing everything, keep up the attacks. pewpewlazer can't actually utilize his 12 refinery economy I thought God of War's economy was good because he had 8 refineries, but pewpewlazer had 12 working refineries at one point. Actually, he may have also had these 2, which would have been 14 working refineries. He's down now to like 10 working refineries, but even so, I guess this guy just needs a harvester, which is over here. But even so, pewpewlazer still has a massive economy behind all of this. Ready Player One sitting at 20K. pewpewlazer sitting at 4K. I cannot believe pewpewlazer is actually spending all of this cash. Ready Player One has 20K in the bank, goes for another MCV. I think he also probably, he needs to go bigger ground army. He probably just needs to build more, like maybe a double war factory down here and a double barracks as well. All right, aircraft carriers have been sunk. This is the problem with God of War's army. He had those aircraft carriers and no support for them. pewpewlazer he's got the space. I feel like the longer this goes on, the better it is for pewpewlazer, who's now set up in the top. He's taking 2 more refineries, and these actually aren't even depleted yet. They're almost depleted, but they still got 15K between the 2 of them. IFVs and cryocopters have finally been deleted. It is top left versus bottom right. MCV steps onto the high ground. I hope you have some multi-gunner turrets behind this bad boy. If you could take the island, this would go a long way to God of War being able to take this game. pewpewlazer, he's gotten a bit of space to breathe, but he's lost 2 refineries, 3 refineries about to be in the meantime. Super Reactor gets sold off. pewpewlazer replaces those with 2 refineries in the top right-hand corner. He's low on cash. Are you kidding me? This guy doesn't have enough green. I cannot believe this. Double barracks in the south. Where are his war factories? He's building Sputniks with them. He's got a war factory in the middle. Ooh, that would have been sick if an engineer would have grabbed that war factory. And then God of War has Soviet and Allied technology. He builds a Soviet MCV and just, like, gets a whole Soviet tech tree. All right. Akula subs are sick. Terror drones are sick. They could actually crush the entire Allied Navy. Because the Allied Navy is just aircraft carriers. The Akula subs, I mean, I guess if they engage one aircraft carrier and then the other aircraft carriers are able to pick them off. But if the terror drones and the Akulas can take the engagement carefully, then they could pretty easily take down this entire fleet. pewpewlazer losing a couple of I'm not actually sure why, but he lost perhaps a precision bomber coming in here. Satellites getting called down on this airfield. Vindicators dropping a couple of bombs. Perfect time to go landing. Lands 2 of his Vindicators. He was not looking. He did not see the satellites drop. I thought he did because he pulled the Vindicators away, but then they ended up just getting sent back. IFVs and cryocopters. You know what doesn't need to return to base to refuel is IFVs. Chronosphere also here. Ready Player One, a.k.a. God of War, taking over the middle of the map. The entire island is here, his, but pewpewlazer says the bottom of the map is mine. So now they're going to turn this into north versus south. These 2 guys from a 6-player FFA down to a 1v1 on a 6-player map as these guys divide the map. Top left versus bottom right, and now top versus bottom, north versus south. Twin Blade eats up an IFV there. And okay, we got a couple of Akula subs against Assault Destroyers and Riptides. Nice use of that cash back to be able to get a little bit of cash for these aircraft carriers. And what are they doing? God of War, no EMPs. Aircraft carriers just driving like they got wheels into a surround of Akula subs. God of War literally just donating away, what was that, 8 grand worth of aircraft carriers or naval units between the aircraft carriers, the assault destroyers. It was like 3 or 4 aircraft carriers plus a couple of assault destroyers plus Riptides. Just donates all of them away. He is going to be able to take over some of this space somehow. How did pewpewlazer get an expansion here? What is up with that? How did pewpewlazer manage to do that? The mass cryocopter is causing a lot of problems for pewpewlazer, and GoDofWar losing out on the water, but winning everywhere else. Trying to Spectrum Tower push his way to victory. He will get the kill on that V4, but the V4 gets the kill on the Spectrum as well. And these cryocopters probably need to come to the island just to support this base. GoDofWar is probably going to run into a little bit of trouble here. Okay, mass assault destroyer. This should be enough assault destroyers to deal with these Akula subs. A couple of these Akula subs are heroic. They are just made like this water is incredibly beautiful until right now, where it just looks like an ugly, ripply mess. Look at that. It looks absolutely ludicrous. All of the ripples being created by these forces. And it's just like glitching out onto the land and causing all sorts of problems. The water looks amazing until something like that happens. GoDofWar and pewpewlazer tearing each other apart, but pewpewlazer finds the damage, the twin blades, the Soviet savior every single time. It doesn't matter what you do, the twin blades are coming for you, and GoDofWar suddenly is losing the island to pewpewlazer. I cannot believe that he lost that MCV position on the island to pewpewlazer. Oh, look at that battle bunker. A bunch of heroic flak troopers inside of it, and now GoDofWar is getting caught somewhere in the middle of enemy territory, going for more harvesters, going for more buildings. The IFVs will be able to target down the bullfrogs. They almost get one, but a terror drone gets one of the IFVs. Only one IFV left. The terror drone gets killed off. The IFVs going for the cryocopters, the bullfrog going for the cryocopter, and now the cryocopters are left on their own. No one to keep them safe. There are Mirage tanks on the ground, and GoDofWar reclaiming every bit of land from pewpewlazer. Pewpewlazer has taken some areas away from GoDofWar, but GoDofWar will not be out macroed by someone like pewpewlazer. pewpewlazer, who a few moments ago had 12 refineries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, soon to be 8 refineries, knocked down 50% and has rebuilt 2 of them. And GoDofWar is coming for the rest. He's got 4 Mirage tanks. And GoDofWar, despite the fact of giving away a bunch of units, those aircraft carriers, for example, he has also just been doing massive damage with other groups of units. Engineer jumps into the building. Twin blades show up. IFVs are coming in to support. Or no, that's cryocopters coming in to support. IFVs are here as well, but you need the Mirage tanks on the ground to be able to quickly blast through the buildings. Engineer is, I guess, going to eventually go down to the Mirage tanks. pewpewlazer, he's getting overwhelmed. He's got a fun name. He's going to kill off this this aircraft carrier. I don't think we've seen a single hydrofoil from GoDofWar this whole game. Oh my gosh, what just happened? What was that? That was so many cryocopters. How did they die? That was insane. I legitimately am very curious. I don't even know. Did the cryocopters just sit over 4 flak turrets and just get chewed up? Cryogeddon firing off. It will find a refinery. Maybe the war factory as well. Gets the crusher crane. Massive freeze here. Doesn't get the war factory, but does get the crusher crane and the refinery. 2 reactors start up to replace them. Crusher crane and an MCV still out on the field for pewpewlazer. GoDofWar loses or sells off his chronosphere, and GoDofWar still has 5, 6 refineries maybe under his control. He's lost much of the real estate that he claimed in the last couple of minutes. Toxin drop on your own barracks to try and kill off these IFVs. 4 of these IFVs have gone heroic. Only 5 are even here in this attack group. And they're just going for target after target after target. War factory getting targeted down. A couple of flak troopers would be nice, but I don't even know that it matters with how much damage that pewpewlazer is taking. Him retaking this top right-hand corner is amazing. That's a great move for pewpewlazer, but those extra 2 refineries, they may be what ends up saving him. An additional crusher crane and the refinery comes in. V4 is getting loaded up into these twin blades and shuttled across the map. Pewpewlazer has almost been ground down to dust. Chrono Rift eliminating that battle bunker and taking it out of the equation so that these IFVs can do a bit more damage. Flak Trooper steps out. Additional War Factory coming up. Pewpewlazer is going to save this little section of the map. Oh, that's so many Mirage tanks that just appeared on the mini-map. When they're in Mirage mode, they disappear from the mini-map. So if they stop moving, when they turn into trees or rocks or buses or whatever, they disappear from the mini-map as well. So I just saw them all appear on the mini-map. And GoDofWar keeping up the pressure. He has let off the gas a couple of times, and every time he lets off the gas, Pewpewlazer starts to stabilize. Pewpewlazer starts to get his feet underneath him and look like he might have a shot. And then GoDofWar ramps it back up, goes full speed, and starts hitting him once again. GoDofWar hitting with these really unbalanced attack groups that in a 1v1 would earn him a loss. But in this 1v1 FFA on a 6-player map, he's been able to do massive damage. These Mirage tanks, not so much. Wow, that was 6 or 7 Mirage tanks down the drain. They really did not get their value, worth. GoDofWar getting absolutely dumpstered in that part of the map. Yeah, he's just got like these Mirage tank armies, which Mirage tanks are good, but if you have anything that fires back, Mirage tanks can be overwhelmed. They have very little HP. Terror Drone is here. Mirage tanks would love to be able to start breaking down these structures. The V4s claiming Mirage after Mirage after Mirage. That fully heroic V4 doing massive damage to these Mirages. And because Mirages use like a heat weapon or something, they don't have the same ability to chew through frozen units and structures that other buildings, that other units do. Athena Cannon is here where the Twin Blades to cut her down. They're dealing with the Mirage tanks first. Trying to clean up the Bullfrogs is GoDofWar. Pewpewlazer hoping to steal away one of these Mirage tank weapons if he can. It looks like he already has. The Aegis Shield does get popped, and GoDofWar now going to be hitting in 2 locations at once. That's the kind of stuff that he needs to do. Pewpewlazer has had an unbelievable economy for so much of this game. Just massive, massive income. And, oh my gosh, GoDofWar flying 4 Apollos over a forest of Bullfrogs and just gets wiped out there. And GoDofWar, again, just sending these, like, mono-unit armies out again and again and again. Oh, let's flak cannons get established at this base. GoDofWar owned this base. He had so many cryocopters overhead. And he just is packing along these really bizarre unit combinations. That tree is healing itself. Always nice to see a tree trying to prepare for the future by healing itself. These Twin Blades are like, we won't do anything. We're just going to hang out. Toxins or satellites? It's going to be the satellites. Magnetic Singularity pulls them all in. 1 Athena Cannon gets dropped. Toxins and satellites. Everything's getting drawn in by this Magnetic Singularity. Pop goes the Weasel as that entire army gets deleted. Pewpewlazer found a delicious combination to turn that allied army into soup. Hit the everything button. This guy is pumping out whoppers because he knows where the button for them is. MCV and Assault Destroyer, mutual respect. They're like, we both got a good crush game. We can both really crush it. But we're gonna walk right by each other and just leave each other alone. GoDofWar, he pulls back into the south. He reignites his aircraft carrier makers, and he's looking to claim another couple of refinery kills. Assault Destroyer gets locked down. Pewpewlazer playing out of his mind, managing every corner of the map almost. He has been in massive defensive mode for about 98% of this game. But can you even blame him? I mean, he's up against GoDofWar essentially in a 1v1. On a massive map where you have so many attack paths, so many angles, so many opportunities for everything to happen. And Chrono shifts with a Mirage tank. Oh, will the Mirage ever actually come online, though, or will he just be deleted by this Tesla Trooper? The Mirage is still not online. Barely he comes online. Oh, he's going for the Harvester. He just dies to that Tesla Trooper. He Chrono swaps with a Mirage tank, and it just does not work out. Refinery gets taken down. Athena Cannon will get destroyed by that Twin Blade, or maybe even by this conscript, who knows. And that aircraft, that Assault Destroyer is like, well, off to find greener pastures. But there's two Terror drones and a Tesla coil waiting for him. Never mind. We'll look for something else. And we're down to Javelin soldiers targeting laser-locking refineries. We've come all the way around. The biggest weapons in the game, except for, of course, super weapons. Okay, nice bomb splitting. He got 2 targets before the MiGs finally ended that, that Vindicator. Conscript gets Chrono rifted. The Conscript gets blocked by his own reactor. But the Twin Blade is here to kill off these jabs. Jabs go down. Both of the refineries survive. Pewpewlazer cutting down GoDofWar now. The only way Pewpewlazer has really gone aggressive in this game is in the Navy. At one point, GoDofWar had 8 refineries under his control. Now he has 5. And they are depleted. Yep. They are massively depleted. Double Terror drone with the precision bomber. That's always nice to see. But, yeah, GoDofWar. It looks like he is losing the war of attrition versus Pewpewlazer, who just has more refineries. 1, 2, well, not quite 2 here. 4, 5 on the island, 6 on the low ground, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 at the end of the game. GG gets called. Pewpewlazer takes the win as GoDofWar exits the game. Pretty action-packed 1v1 for the last 25 minutes of that match. 37 minutes in total. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you think Twitch chat and I were right? Well, if not, I guess it's too late. But thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert signing out.